Just last week I was at my local coffee shop, and I witnessed something that stopped me dead in my tracks. There was this woman, had to be in her late 70s, maybe early 80s, and she was having the most animated conversation with a barista who couldn't have been older than 25. But here's what got me. She wasn't just chatting. She was remembering details about his college exams from 3 weeks ago, asking about his sister's wedding planning, and this is where my jaw dropped. She effortlessly picked up her laptop bag, her purse, and 2 heavy grocery bags, walked out with the posture of a ballet dancer, and I watched through the window as she loaded everything into her car without a single struggle. And I'm standing there thinking, when was the last time I saw someone her age move like that? When was the last time I saw someone remember that many details? When was the last time I saw someone radiate that kind of energy and vitality? You see, most of us have been conditioned to believe that aging means inevitable decline. We expect people in their 70s and 80s to slow down, to forget more, to need help with everyday tasks. But what if I told you that some people are literally aging in reverse? What if everything you think you know about getting older is wrong? Here's something that might break your heart, but I need you to hear it. We've created a culture where we expect our loved ones to fade away slowly. We've normalized watching vibrant, intelligent, capable people become shadows of themselves. And the worst part? We've accepted it as inevitable when it absolutely doesn't have to be. Whether you're watching a parent struggle with tasks they used to do effortlessly, or you're lying awake at night wondering what your own future holds, or maybe you're already feeling changes in your own body and mind. Understanding these signs of reverse aging isn't just inspiring. It could literally save years of your life, or someone else's life that you care deeply about. In the next few minutes, we're going to dive deep into 7 remarkable abilities that most 80-year-olds have lost unless they're aging in reverse. And I'm warning you right now, number 6 is going to shock you. It has absolutely nothing to do with physical fitness, but it might be the most powerful predictor of whether someone thrives or declines as they age. By the end of this video, you'll never look at aging the same way again. But before we jump in, I need to know you're with me on this journey. If you've ever met someone who made you think, I want to be exactly like them when I'm older, someone who seemed to defy their age completely, comment, I'm here right now. And if you believe, like I do, that our best years don't have to be behind us, hit that subscribe button. This is Elder Wisdom, and we're about to change everything you thought you knew about getting older. Sign number 1. Most 80-year-olds struggle to climb stairs without help. Let me tell you about Mr. Benson. This man is 82 years old, and I kid you not, he takes the stairs 2 at a time like he's chasing a bus he's about to miss. His neighbors half his age are grabbing the handrail, taking it slow, catching their breath at the top. But Mr. Benson, he bounds up those stairs and then turns around and asks if anyone needs help with their groceries. Now, here's what's happening in most people's bodies as they age. Your leg muscles, your quadriceps, your glutes, your calves, they start losing mass and strength at about 1 to 2% per year after age 30, but it accelerates dramatically after 70. Your joints lose flexibility, your bones lose density, and suddenly stairs become this mountain you have to conquer instead of just stairs. But here's the misconception that breaks my heart. Families see their loved ones struggling with stairs and they think, Well, that's just what happens when you get old. They install stair lifts, they move bedrooms to the first floor, they accept it as inevitable. But you know what the real culprit usually is? It's not age, it's inactivity. It's the slow surrender to a sedentary lifestyle. Mr. Benson's secret? 3 times a week he does light resistance training in his living room. We're talking 15-minute sessions with resistance bands and his own body weight. That's it. He's not deadlifting at the gym. He's just consistently challenging his muscles enough to keep them strong and his joints mobile. But it's not just the body that can show signs of aging in reverse. Your mind can too, and that's where things get really interesting. Sign number 2. Most can't recall events without long pauses. I want you to meet Ms. Clara. This woman is 79 years old, and she can tell you what she had for breakfast on July 12th, 1973. I'm not kidding. She remembers the exact conversation she had with her neighbor about the weather that morning, what dress she was wearing, and how her coffee tasted slightly bitter because she'd run out of her favorite cream. Meanwhile, most people her age are struggling to remember what they had for breakfast yesterday. They pause mid-sentence trying to find words that used to come effortlessly. They forget appointments, lose track of conversations, and slowly start to doubt their own mental capabilities. Here's what the science tells us. Yes, some memory decline is normal with aging. Our brains do slow down, but, and this is crucial, neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to form new neural pathways and connections, doesn't stop at any particular age. People in their 90s can still learn new languages, master new skills, and create new memories with startling clarity. The misconception that's destroying people's mental sharpness. We assume forgetfulness is inevitable, so we stop challenging our brains. We stop learning new things. We settle into comfortable routines and wonder why our minds feel foggy. But often, what we're calling normal aging is actually just mental rust from lack of use. Ms. Clara's secret isn't some miracle supplement. She reads voraciously, learns new recipes, does crossword puzzles, and most importantly, she socializes. She engages in complex conversations, debates politics with her book club, and teaches her great-grandchildren card games. Her brain stays sharp because she never stops using it. Speaking of mental sharpness, let's talk about something that separates the super-agers from everyone else. The ability to make quick, confident decisions. Sign number 3. Most 80-year-olds don't make quick decisions. Meet Frank. He's 79 years old, and he makes investment decisions faster than his 40-year-old son. When his financial advisor presents options, Frank processes the information, weighs the risks, and makes confident choices in minutes. His son takes weeks of deliberation for much smaller decisions. This isn't unusual among people aging in reverse. While most elderly people become increasingly indecisive, asking family members to choose their meals, their clothes, their daily activities, the reverse agers maintain sharp decision-making abilities well into their 80s and beyond. Here's what typically happens with age. Your processing speed slows down. The neural pathways that help you quickly analyze information and make decisions become less efficient. But here's the key: this decline isn't inevitable if you keep those pathways active through mental engagement and cognitive challenges. The misconception that's hurting so many families: we think that slow decision-making equals wisdom. We tell ourselves that older people are just being more careful, more thoughtful. But sometimes what looks like careful consideration is actually cognitive fatigue or a loss of confidence in their own judgment. Frank's secret: he never stopped challenging his mind with complex decisions. He does strategic puzzles, plays chess, and most importantly, he trusts his own judgment. When families start making decisions for their elderly loved ones to help them, they're actually accelerating cognitive decline by removing the need for mental exercise. Now let's shift gears and talk about something that might surprise you: the emotional side of aging in reverse. Sign number 4. Most struggle with emotional regulation. I have to tell you about Joyce. For most of her adult life, this woman was what you might call temperamental. Little things would set her off. Traffic jams, long lines at the store, neighbors playing music too loud. Everything felt like a personal attack. Her family walked on eggshells around her. But something remarkable happened when Joyce turned 75. It was like she discovered some secret to inner peace. Now, at 78, she's the calmest, most centered person in her family. Her grandchildren come to her for advice. Her friends seek her out when they need someone to listen without judgment. She radiates this peaceful energy that draws people to her. Here's what most people don't understand about emotions and aging. Yes, aging brains can process emotions less effectively. The prefrontal cortex, which helps regulate emotional responses, can become less active over time. But, and this is important, increased self-awareness and life experience can more than compensate for these biological changes. The misconception that's causing unnecessary suffering: we accept mood swings, irritability, and emotional outbursts as just part of getting older. We dismiss an elderly person's anger or sadness as normal aging, when it might actually be unresolved anxiety, unmet emotional needs, or simply a lack of tools for processing complex feelings. KNOX. Joyce's transformation wasn't magic. She started practicing daily reflection, learned basic mindfulness techniques, and most importantly, she finally gave herself permission to feel her emotions without judgment. She realized that emotional regulation isn't about suppressing feelings. It's about understanding them and choosing how to respond. But emotional balance is just one piece of the puzzle. Let's talk about something that affects every single day of your life: energy levels. Sign number 5. Most don't wake up with energy. Harold is 81 years old, and his daily routine would exhaust people half his age. He wakes up at 6 a.m. naturally. No alarm clock needed. He does 30 minutes of gentle yoga, walks 2 miles through his neighborhood, comes home and cooks a full breakfast from scratch, tends to his garden, and still has energy left over to help his neighbors with their yard work. Meanwhile, most people his age are struggling to get out of bed, relying on multiple cups of coffee just to feel human, taking afternoon naps and feeling drained by simple activities like grocery shopping. Here's what happens to energy as we age. Your mitochondria, the powerhouses of your cells, become less efficient at producing energy. Your sleep patterns change, often becoming more fragmented. Your body produces less of certain hormones that regulate energy. But here's the thing: these changes don't have to leave you feeling constantly exhausted. The misconception that's keeping people trapped in fatigue? We chalk up tiredness to age when it's often poor sleep hygiene, nutritional deficiencies like low B12 or vitamin D, or simply a sedentary lifestyle that's created a cycle of low energy. Harold's secret isn't some miracle energy drink. He gets sunlight exposure every morning, which helps regulate his circadian rhythm. He goes to bed and wakes up at the same time every day, even on weekends. He eats regular, balanced meals and stays hydrated. And most importantly, he moves his body every single day. Not intense exercise, just consistent, gentle movement that keeps his energy flowing. Now, let's talk about something you might not even realize is becoming rare after 80. And this one might surprise you. Sign number 6. Most 80-year-olds can't balance on one foot for 10 seconds. In Japan, there's a simple test they use to assess aging. Can you stand on one foot for 10 seconds without support? It sounds simple, but most people over 80 can't do it. Some can't even manage 5 seconds. But let me tell you about Shirley. She's 76 years old, and she can stand on one foot for 30 seconds with her eyes closed. I've seen her do it, and it's remarkable. She has the balance and stability of someone decades younger. Here's why balance becomes such a challenge with age. Your inner ear, which helps control balance, becomes less sensitive. Your proprioception, your body's ability to sense its position in space, declines. Your reaction time slows, so even if you start to fall, you can't correct as quickly. Your muscles weaken, making it harder to make those tiny adjustments that keep you upright. But here's the misconception that's literally dangerous. People assume that falls and balance issues are just a normal part of aging. They accept wobbliness as inevitable. They install grab bars and remove rugs, but they don't work on improving their actual balance. And this acceptance of decline becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Shirley's secret is almost embarrassingly simple. Every morning while she brushes her teeth, she stands on one foot. When she's waiting for the microwave, she practices balancing. When she's watching TV, she'll stand up and do gentle balance exercises during commercials. She's turned balance practice into a daily habit, and her body has responded by maintaining incredible stability. The Japanese research shows that people who can't balance on one foot for 10 seconds have a significantly higher risk of death within the next decade. It's not just about preventing falls, it's about overall physical competence and independence. And finally, let's talk about an ability that connects mind, body, and spirit, something that might be the most important sign of all. Sign number 7. Most struggle to find a sense of purpose. I want you to meet George. At 84 years old, this man lights up when he talks about his life. He mentors kids at the local community center, teaching them chess and life skills. He writes poetry and has just published his second book. He volunteers at the library, helping people with computer skills. When you ask him how he's doing, he doesn't talk about his aches and pains. He talks about the teenager who just won his first chess tournament, or the poem he's working on about his late wife's garden. George says he's never felt more alive, more useful, more important than he does right now. Compare that to so many people his age who feel invisible, useless, like they're just waiting around to die. Here's what the research shows us. Having a strong sense of purpose doesn't just make you feel better emotionally, it literally extends your life. People with a clear sense of purpose have lower rates of dementia, heart disease, and stroke. They sleep better, have stronger immune systems, and yes, they age more slowly. The misconception that's stealing years from people's lives. We've created this idea that retirement means slowing down. stepping back, becoming less involved in the world. We act like people become less valuable as they age, when the truth is they have more wisdom, more experience, and more freedom to make a real difference than ever before. George's secret isn't complicated. When he retired, instead of withdrawing from the world, he asked himself what he'd always wanted to do but never had time for. He realized that all those years of working had given him skills and knowledge that young people desperately needed. So instead of becoming irrelevant, he became more relevant than ever. All of these signs reveal something powerful about the nature of aging itself. I know this might be hard to hear, especially if you're watching someone you love struggle with these very issues. Maybe you're seeing your parent forget more, move less, lose their spark. Maybe you're feeling these changes in your own body, and it's scary as hell. Maybe you're lying awake at night, wondering if decline is inevitable, if there's any point in fighting it. I get it. I really do. There's this helpless feeling that comes with watching aging happen, to others or to ourselves. We've been told for so long that getting older means getting weaker, slower, less capable. We've accepted that independence has an expiration date, and when you start seeing these signs of decline, it can feel like you're watching someone disappear right in front of your eyes. But here's what I need you to understand. Recognizing these signs of reverse aging isn't about making you feel bad about what's been lost. It's about showing you what's still possible. It's about giving you hope when everything around you suggests there isn't any. See, aging in reverse isn't about trying to be 20 again. It's not about chasing some impossible dream of eternal youth. It's about understanding that decline isn't inevitable. It's often a choice we make without realizing we're making it. Every single person I've told you about today, Mr. Benson with his stares, Ms. Clara with her incredible memory, Frank with his quick decisions, Joyce with her emotional peace, Harold with his boundless energy, Shirley with her perfect balance, George with his unshakable sense of purpose. They're not genetic freaks. They're not taking some miracle supplement. They're not living in denial about their age. They're living proof that you have more control over how you age than anyone ever told you. They're showing us that wisdom doesn't have to come with weakness, that experience doesn't have to mean exhaustion, that getting older can actually mean getting better. So I want you to look around you right now. Is there someone in your life who's showing signs of withdrawal, of giving up, of accepting decline as inevitable? Maybe it's a parent, a grandparent, a friend. Maybe it's you. Here's what I want you to do. Choose one thing, just one. Maybe it's encouraging them to take the stairs instead of the elevator. Maybe it's starting a new hobby together. Maybe it's having deeper conversations instead of just talking about the weather. Maybe it's as simple as asking them what they're excited about instead of how they're feeling. A small act today, a phone call, a walk together, a meaningful conversation could literally change the trajectory of someone's aging process. You have more power than you realize. And here's the truth that I want burned into your memory. Aging doesn't define you. Your body might change, your circumstances might shift, but your capacity for growth, for joy, for purpose, for connection, that doesn't have an expiration date. Love defines you. Awareness defines you. Purpose defines you. And every single day, regardless of your age, you get to choose which direction you're moving, toward vitality or toward decline. You're never too old to start aging in reverse. You're never too old to surprise yourself with what's still possible. Let me quickly recap what we've discovered today. Most 80-year-olds can't climb stairs without help, can't recall details without long pauses, struggle with quick decision-making, have difficulty regulating their emotions, don't wake up with natural energy, can't balance on one foot for 10 seconds, and have lost their sense of purpose. But the people aging in reverse, they're doing all of these things and more, proving that decline isn't inevitable, it's a choice. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 7 signs surprised you the most? Have you noticed any of them in someone you care about? Or maybe you've seen someone who seems to be aging in reverse. I want to hear their story. Drop a comment below and let's start a conversation. Which ability do you want to work on first? What's one small step you could take today? I read every single comment and I learned something from each one of your stories. Your experiences matter, your observations matter, and your journey matters. If this video has opened your eyes to new possibilities, if it's given you hope that your best years don't have to be behind you, then I want you to be part of this community. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell because ElderWisdom is here to guide you on this journey, one insight at a time. We're not just talking about adding years to your life. We're talking about adding life to your years. We're building a community of people who refuse to accept decline as inevitable, who believe that wisdom and vitality can grow together, who know that getting older can actually mean getting better. And here's something I want you to think about as you go through your day. What if the secret to staying young isn't about avoiding aging, but about aging so well that your age becomes irrelevant? What if your 70s and 80s could be the most vibrant, purposeful, joyful decades of your life? Thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for caring enough about yourself or someone you love to spend this time learning. Remember, aging is mandatory, but declining is optional. Keep challenging yourself. Keep growing. Keep surprising yourself with what's possible. This is ElderWisdom, reminding you that your story isn't over. It might just be getting to the best part. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, keep aging in reverse.